Well, ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to our Planets Through Ascendant series of the week. And this week we're going to be covering Sun in the 7th house in Cancer for Capricorn Ascendant people. And what happens when Sun is in the 7th house in the sign of Cancer while ruling the 8th house with the sign of Leo. So this is quite different from Sun through signs or Sun through houses, because now we're combining, two energies together, and at the same time, the planet controls a certain sign. And as always, if you do not know where your Sun is placed, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, all other astrological details, for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction Aspects, and Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations at this link. So, Sun in the 7th house in the sign of Cancer. So first of all, 7th house represents what? Marriage, business, partnership, career, mass fame. It's also your opponents and enemies. This is why marriage is a deal you make with the enemy, man, from past life. Then you have 8th house. And also remember, 7th house is also known as the Marka house, house of inflicting, death or inflicting, ending of things, confinement. 8th house represents death and rebirth. 8th house represents liberation. It represents occult, mysticism, hidden knowledge, Kundalini awakening. Third eye awakening is more from the 12th house. Kundalini is from the 8th house, because remember, Kundalini starts from Muladhara Chakra, right at the base of the spine, which is the 8th house. 8th house represents inheritance, insurance, wills and estates. Then, Sun represents father, authorities, government, soul, personality. It's any authoritative figure in your life. It's the Sun. So when this occurs, first of all, shows that a person is going to be of a little bit of a loose nature, meaning this person will have a tendency to elope with other people, and not even as in eloping, like cheating on one person to the other. It's more like they will always love to engage with men or women. Although in the classicals, they always use like men dealing with women, but it could be either way. Dealing with people who are very of a loose nature, loose character, meaning like they may have relationship with people, which you gotta understand, it's now very common to date somebody who may have had multiple partners before. Date somebody who may have had like 10, 15, 20 partners before. And I'm talking about like intimate sexual partners. So it shows that a person will be with somebody of kind of like, a loose character. This also shows that your in-laws will always try to snoop into your married life, kind of butt into your married life. And this may be good or this may be bad, depending upon, which degree Sun is at. As in, what nakshatra and padha Sun is in. This will also show that your spouse, especially if you're a man, your spouse could have a very manly looking structure, very masculine structure and face. Spouse will be also of a darker, burnt, tan complexion. And especially if you're a woman, your spouse will have like a receding hairline. Worse than mine. Okay. Mine's not receding. Shut up. This also shows me that one spouse will engage in land, real estate, insurance, inheritance related fields and business. They will love food. They love to be at gatherings where they have all kinds of food. They love to go to gatherings where they have unique foods. exotic foods. This also shows that, and this is strictly depends upon the aspects, the conjunction, the nakshatra and padha. One may have a lot of opposition in terms of fame. Like, people will try to defame you in a way. People will try to bring you down. People will give you a loose moral, loose character type person. They will accuse you of things. But like I said, the level of having that will either be this much, like here, or it could be this much up here. And depending upon what type of impact Sun gets. Is it getting benefic aspects? Is it getting malefic aspects? Is it conjunct benefics or malefics? So those things can either neutralize the situation, make the situation a little bit more worse. And this will really get triggered through marriage. Through marriage is going to get triggered. But also shows once you get married, that can trigger a point where you can suddenly find success. Suddenly fame comes in. Suddenly money comes in. Suddenly power comes in. Because Sun is also power. And this also shows that especially your spouse is going to be the one controlling the relationship, controlling the marriage. Now, Sun, as you know, is known as a natural malefic planet. You know why? Because Sun is a very hot planet. Sun, wherever it sits, it tends to burn the significance of those things. So when it's sitting in the 7th house, it always burns some things about the 7th house. Either a person gets married late, or a person always has to deal with ego problems, emotional problems within the marriage. The spouse, spouse could be just like, ugh. Like, if you don't listen to me, I'm gonna come at you like with a stick. So there's always something that gets burnt. This doesn't mean that, a person will get divorced, a person will, get abused. No, it's just like it could be a lot of bickering in the marriage. Like, there's a lot of just argument, a lot of bickering that happens with most of the marriages. So you got to take this with a grain of salt. Depending upon especially the padha of the nakshatra will really determine which leg Sun is walking on, which part of the ladder Sun is stepping on when you were born. That will really determine, the severity or the positivity or negativity of this placement. Okay. So guys, this was my analysis of Sun in the 7th house for Capricorn ascendant people. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. If you want to know where your Sun is placed, all the other astrological details, my books, reports, consultations. For that, check out the links here. Otherwise, I will see you later. Bye-bye.